another edition of Inside Central Florida Sports, the talk show that discusses anything and everything about sports. With tonight's special guest, Mark Potter. And welcome back, everyone. I have a special treat just for you. We have one of the nation's top sports photographers of the television industry. He is one of the best of the best. Everyone, please welcome Mark Popper.
Hello. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for letting me be here tonight.
And Mark, I have to say, it is truly an honor to have you here. We have been trying to get you here for so long. You have no idea how it feels to be in the presence of your greatness.
Thank you for allowing me to have the honor and privilege to be on your show tonight. I watch it all the time, and it helps me out filming when I know who's hot and who's not. I watch your show all the time, and I know you have a large fan base, and about 2 million people a week watch the show. So thank you for the high remarks, for allowing me to be here in your kind words.
So what is it like to be a sports cameraman?
It's exciting. I've done things that people in this world wish they could do, but they can't. Like every time I show up at an arena or something, especially before the new smartphones came out, people couldn't even bring a still camera into the arena. And here I am with a $40,000 camera. And people are happy to see me, so it's a very exciting career, and this is one of the reasons that I got into it. And plus, I know that a lot of people count on me to get it right the first time, and just to have that honor and privilege, it's incredible.
Mark, man, I just have to say, I am very impressed with your resume. You have filmed for every pro sports league, and over the last 7 years, you were the lead cameraman for the National Football Championships. I gotta ask, how does it feel to be on top?
It feels great to rule the world. This is exactly why I wanted to get into TV, and this is what I put my goal at to accomplish, and I've made it. So I am very happy to be here and very privileged to be on your show, because I know how many thousands of people watch it every single week. So thank you for allowing me to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your time filming for the NBA and the Orlando Magic.
The Orlando Magic was great. I enjoyed filming on the floor underneath the basket because I'm right in the action. They're right on top of you, and they're coming at you the whole time. The bad thing is the camera, it gets very heavy, so we have to put it down during the free throws a lot to give your back a little rest. It's always nice to see the cheerleaders up close. And one of the things about being a producer is you always have to put the camera on a tripod and get in front of it and give your speech. So a lot of times I'll go between the players and get a lot of close-ups as they're warming up to get all that ready to edit, because the key to working in TV is you got to produce. You can't just get a job as a cameraman. You have to be able to edit.
What was it like filming for the WNBA, the women's professional basketball, for the Orlando Miracle? How was it?
It was great. They only played 3 or 4 seasons, and they were just as talented as the Magic players, especially Nikisha Sales. That girl could throw the ball in between her legs, back and forth, rotate, this and that. And I also got to film the first slam dunk in the WNBA by Lisa Leslie. And they put on a real good show. It's very disappointing that they could not continue due to business decisions, but they gave me a challenge. I mean, they were really good, and I was really glad to be a part of it.
Do the crowds act happy when you come into the arena?
Especially back in the days before cell phones were smartphones, a lot of times when I would show up, the crowd would cheer for me because they'd see me coming in a stadium with a $40,000 camera. As a matter of fact, a lot of times during the games, it gets very stuffy out there at halftime. So I would go outside, and it always seems like there's a kid that comes up to me and says to me, "How do I get your job?" And I just tell them it's the same thing as always. You got to do the homework, you got to put the time in. And it's a leap of faith because there's not a lot of work in TV. So you have to really, really want to do it to be able to do it.
With your press pass, you have access that nobody else has. So what exactly do you do before the basketball games?
What I'll do is I'll check in, I'll get the roster, I'll see who's playing, go online, see what the recent statistics are. see who's injured, and I'll get all that ready.
Do you ever get nervous when filming under the basket that a player might fall on you and you might get hurt?
Oh, sure, because they're coming right after you, and they're coming right in your face. And since basketball is a game about fouling and trying to get the ball and steal it from each other, you always have to worry about the risk, but it's part of your job.
Filming for the NBA, what was probably one of the hardest interviews you've ever done?
By far, it has to be Shaquille O'Neal. Every time he came to town, photographers from other news organizations that aren't even in the state of Florida come to follow him. So by the time you go into the locker room, there's already like 60 cameramen around him, and it's just very hard. Nobody wants to help you get in the shot because everybody's job is to get the best shot. So by far, he was the hardest interview for basketball.
Now let's move on to your time filming Major League Baseball. What was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part about filming Major League Baseball was just the overall experience. Before the game, I got to stand at the batting cage, watch the players take their practice, got to stand behind the pitchers as they're warming up, got to hang out in the dugout of a lot of teams, especially my favorite team, the New York Yankees. So that was a real honor and privilege to have done that. And it's just a really great experience, especially if you're a fan. It's like a dream come true because I used to watch the Yankees all the time growing up. So to be able to go in the dugout with the New York Yankees and hang out, it's like a dream that you never thought would come true, but it's actually happening.
So being around so many pro sports figures, does that ever make you nervous?
No, not really. Actually, they're exactly the same as they are on TV. The rumor that people are 10 pounds heavier on TV from the camera is completely false. When I'm around them, they just look like normal people. But one of the most fascinating experiences I ever had being around a pro athlete was when I was at the batting cage with the New York Yankees. I was there for about a half hour watching them, and then for some reason I just turned my head a little bit and Derek Jeter was standing right here, right next to me, and I just could not believe it. I was like, Derek Jeter, you just won 3 championships in a row. So, like I said, it's always exciting filming sports, but that was definitely one of the greatest moments of my career, was standing next to Derek Jeter.
What is it like filming in the press row with other networks? Do you guys ever talk to each other?
No, not really. Everybody's camera has a shotgun mic on it, so no matter what you say to somebody, it's going to pick it up, and you don't want your voice going on their TV channel. So everybody just kind of nods. Even when you're saying hello, you just nod.
When filming your favorite team, are you allowed to show any emotion?
When you're also a fan, and if your team is playing, you cannot show any emotion in TV because your job is to report the news, not make the news.
Have you ever had any close calls getting hit by a baseball while filming out on the field?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, the very first game I did was at Osceola County Stadium with the Houston Astros. And the very first pitch of the game was a foul ball, and the legendary first baseman Jeff Bagwell came and caught the ball like right here. And here I am sitting right there on the field because at the time they didn't have a press box. So all they had was a chair for me to sit on. And also, when I was at Wide World of Sports Complex, the home of the Atlanta Braves, Greg Maddux, the Hall of Fame pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, hit a line drive and it hit me right in the leg. But I was all right.
When you're getting ready to do an interview after the game, what's going through your mind?
Well, depending on how the game went, you always want to be careful what you say because you definitely can't say anything like the team played like crap tonight. What the hell happened? I mean, you have to be professional all the time. So you always want to be careful how you approach this situation because it's all in the delivery of it is how you're going to get results. So what you might want to say is the team played a real hard effort tonight, but unfortunately you lost. What do you think was the biggest difference, or what was your greatest weakness tonight? And that's how you'll be able to get an answer a lot easier.
Is there a lot of pushing and shoving by other TV networks? Because I know they want to get the best shot during the interview.
Oh yeah, it's dog eat dog in the locker room. Everybody's job is to get the best shot, so nobody has a problem pushing you out of the way. And same thing, you shouldn't have a problem pushing anybody else out of the way.
I have to say, I'm very impressed by this. For someone who's done football, how are you able to film 3,000 games over the span of your 20-year career? It's amazing.
Well, I started off doing the Pop Warner League, which was the Space Coast League, where I would do 8 games on Saturday, and then I would do middle school games on Wednesday, junior varsity games on Thursday, and then Friday night would be varsity games. So over 20 years, it just added up. And then during the national championships, I'd have like 40 games in a week where I would have to do. So they just compounded.
So when filming for the arena football, how would you quite compare it to filming for the NFL?
Well, the arena football is more straightforward in your face because it's a lot smaller field, not like the NFL. In the NFL, they have a lot more cameramen. They got some on the sidelines and in both end zones. But in arena football, the sideline is the wall, so there's nowhere to stand on the side of the field. So you're filming in the end zone the whole time. So all the action is right in your face. And because it's a smaller field, there's a lot more touchdowns. The games are really high scoring. And it's very exciting. A lot of the players, they'll start screaming and yelling into the camera, celebrating, and you're right there.
Oh, they're getting hyped.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I've had players go grab my camera and go, "Hell yeah, baby, you like that? There's a lot more where that came from. Woo woo!" And it's like just such an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really great. And a lot of times they'll slam the ball right there in front of your camera and they'll put on a real show.
Wow, that's awesome.
So which one would you say is more exciting to film?
Oh, by far the arena ball, because it's right in your face. It's high action, high scoring, and it's just very exciting feeling because you got the crowd right behind you because you're filming right up against the wall, and the end zone is small, and a lot of times they'll come running right by you, or a lot of times they'll catch the ball and they'll throw it up right over your shoulder into the crowd, and you're just right in the middle of the action.
So during the filming of arena football, I can definitely imagine that the chances of getting hurt is far more likely than it is when filming for the NFL.
Oh yeah, like I just had told you, a lot of times they'll catch the ball and they'll run right by you, or they'll throw the ball right over your shoulder, or a lot of times they'll dance right in front of you. As a matter of fact, one time the guy went up to catch the ball, and it went between his hands, and I caught the ball with my hand as I was filming it. And people were high-fiving me when I was trying to film the game and keep the camera steady.
So before filming for the show, I've noticed you said something quite interesting. You said that you're not nervous when filming these championship games. And I gotta ask you, how?
Well, when you've done it for so long, it's like clockwork. The key to filming football is you have to follow the game. You can't be out there sleeping behind the camera. You have to analyze the game and what the situation is and what the time it is during the game and try and predict what the next play will be. And you always have to be aware that they're going to do something to fake you out, so you always have to be prepared for it. Like I said, always watch the clock, always predict in your mind what you think the next play will be. And when you've done it for so many times and you film the same team for a few games during the year, you basically know what to expect.
Wow. Well, we're filming for 20 years. It just never, you've never, like over time, you don't feel as nervous, I guess? Like when you very first started, were you nervous doing this?
No, not really, because when I was growing up, that's all my dad did was watch football all the time.
Awesome.
So I basically knew when I wanted to be a sports cameraman, I was watching how they film football on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I basically knew what I was getting myself into. So I film it just like it is for TV because that's what it is. When I'm filming for TV.
Awesome.
What would have been one of your favorite championship games you've ever filmed?
My favorite championship game I ever filmed has to be the Pine Castle Little League World Series. It was a 4-camera live shoot, and I was the first base cameraman, so 90% of the work was on me. So I would have to get the player coming up to the home plate with the wide shot because the 9 batters were right-handed, and then they would cut to the other camera, and during that time I would zoom in to get the shot from here to here. And just like I said, 90% of the camera work on that game was mine. So it was very successful feeling to have done that event.
So over your many years of filming, what was probably one of your favorite moments in filming sport television?
It had to have been when I met Joe Torre, the New York Yankees. I was at Walt Disney World, Wide World of Sports Complex, and after I got my media badge to go into the stadium, when I went in the backstage area, I was waiting for the elevator to go down to the field, and when the door opened, there was Joe Torre, the manager of the New York Yankees, and it was like, oh my God, here's God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The big man.
Wow.
And I'm in the elevator alone with him. It was unbelievable. And then he walked me down into the dugout, and I filmed an interview with him. It was
awesome.
Unbelievable.
Whoa. And how many interviews have you done?
Oh, hundreds. And another thing about Joe Torre is it's the same thing. When the New York Yankees come to town, all these photographers from other TV stations that aren't even in Florida, they come and follow the Yankees. And nobody pays attention to the other team. So every time I filmed an interview with the Yankees, there's always been like 70 cameramen in there. And it's you have to be very quick with your question because everybody's always talking over each other.
Are there any protocols that sports cameramen have to live by?
The biggest protocol in television as a sports cameraman is you never let anybody handle your camera. No matter if there's other cameramen that are going to be filming the same event that are even working with you, you never let anybody handle your camera. It's just one of the first things they teach you in TV school. You can get fired for letting somebody else handle your camera.
What is the hardest television interview you've ever had to do?
Hardest television interview I ever had to do? It would have to be one that wasn't in sports. The very first day working in television, they sent me out to interview the head of the FBI. The former head of the FBI, Janet Reno, when she was running for governor, and I had no idea what to ask her. And I was so nervous because it was the first day, and when I finally got to her, I asked her like 12 questions, and then that year they gave me the Reporter of the Year award for that interview.
Wow. Is there like tough competition for that award? Like I'm assuming there's like so many different people trying to.
Oh yeah, there's like
such as
12 people.
Wow.
It was the first interview I ever did, and for that I won the Reporter of the Year.
Whoa.
For interviewing the head of the FBI, the former head of the FBI.
Wow. That's actually an honor. That's insane. This is something I heard. I want to know if it's true. Do all sports athletes have to talk to the press, whether they want to or not?
Oh yeah, it's in their contract. That's why I said you have to be careful to approach a situation because a lot of times you'll see them really upset, but they do have to talk to you.
Wow.
It's in their contract.
Has anyone like ever refused before?
Oh
Any
yeah.
situations like
Oh
that?
yeah. Bartolo Colon, the pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, refused. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't even answer me, and this was before the game started.
Oh. Wow. Do you happen to know what the consequences for that, like when they refuse?
I have no idea. I'm sure there's going to be some excuse. Oh well, you didn't want to bother his meditation or something.
So I would assume doing something for so long, you've had to have been given so many different awards. By chance, what would be like some of your top awards you've ever been given?
One of my favorites is when I did my internship at ABC Sports. I went out with like 15 students, and I won the award for that. And that was a really hard gig, very hard. I also won Cameraman of the Year. I also did an internship at Orange County TV. I won Best Internship Award for there. Just a lot of awards.
So I understand here that you brought a couple awards with you. You mind wanting to show them off for the crowd?
But I did bring you some of my favorites. During the National Football Championships, during the 4th year as the lead cameraman, I noticed there was a company out there called Glossy Finish that took pictures of the players, so I decided to get my own action poster. Here's the first one I got. This here. Here's the second one I got. This is the one from last year. And this is the most recent one. I just got this one about 2 weeks ago. This was the King of Spring National Football Spring Football Championships. I could have had many more, but at the time I didn't think about it because when I'm doing the national championships, I got like 40 games in a week to film. But this is something I just started collecting.
And you plan to continue to do this for many more years to come?
Maybe 10 more years, that'll be it.
10 more years.
As long as I can rock and roll and get it up there.
That's awesome. Well, I hope to see 10 more. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
There ain't nothing like filming a great touchdown, man. Let me tell you. Especially when it's like a 99-yard return. It's like, you can just feel it run through your veins as you're filming it and holding it tight.
Ooh,
and the crowd is going crazy, man. And it's your job to get it right. It's just such a rush.
Ooh, I love the passion behind that. That's absolutely amazing. Ooh, I hope to feel some kind of stride that way.
It's exhilarating.
That's amazing.
Exhilarating.
Heck yeah. Do you have any advice that you can give to anyone trying to break out into the television industry as a sports cameraman?
Just stand your ground. It's not going to be easy. Nobody's going to give you a break. But you'll find once you're out there doing it for a few years, there'll be other companies that will be out there noticing you. And they'll offer you jobs. It's going to take a while, but you just got to keep knocking it.
Oh, one of my final questions would be, is there anyone you want to thank for the success along the way or just the journey overall?
Definitely my mom. Without her, I couldn't have done it because in TV school, there's shoots at night and shoots in daytime, so you really can't work because you have to have your credits in each subject. And my mom paid all the bills during that time. And I was 30 years old at the time when I went to get my degree in TV production, so, definitely thanks to my mom. Also, I would like to give thanks to Soul Dad Pakarangan, who came into my life and changed my life forever by making me a better person, a better man. And as of today, this world is a better place because of you. It's a lot better than it was before you came here. So thank you, Soul Dad. You will not be forgotten. You will always live in our hearts forever.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence here. I really appreciate it. That's absolutely amazing. Mark, thank you so much for appearing on our show tonight. It has been an honor to have you here. I really appreciate it, and we've been trying to get you on here forever.
Thank you, Christian, for having me. It was a great honor to be on your show. I watch it all the time. So I always thought what it would be like if you guys ever asked me to be on your show, and I know you have, but I'm always busy. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And thank you to the whole world in the audience watching. Good night. Thank you.
All right, guys, this has been another episode of Inside Central Florida Sports, the show that talks about everything and anything sports. This has been your host, Christian J. Casal, and I hope to see you guys next week.